Hi, I'm Randy Everett. I'm one of the shepherds here at Adams. I grew up on a farm outside of Searcy, Arkansas. My family attended a little white clapboard Methodist church about a quarter mile from our house. There was a neighborhood lady who had taught herself to play piano. Every Sunday, she played hymns on a slightly out of tune piano, while 35 Christians sang slightly off key. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest, and those people taught me to love Jesus and to love His Word. My wife Kathy and I began dating my senior year of high school. She'd grown up in the Church of Christ in downtown Searcy with a congregation of about 800 people. Part of getting to know each other was discussing our church experiences and our faith. If we were going to spend our lives together, we knew we needed to build our faith together as well. We took turns visiting each other's churches, and it was a culture shock for both of us. Each experience was so different, but I learned to love the people in her congregation just as I loved the people in my own. What stood out to me was how close they were to each other and how deeply they wanted to be close to God and follow His Word. Eventually, I became a member of that church with her. We got married, moved away, and lived in several different communities, always worshiping in a local church. These congregations were often much larger than the one I grew up with, but in each place we worshiped with wonderful people. Those experiences helped us grow closer to God and to foster a deep, loving marriage relationship with Him at the center. We've now been married 50 years, and our relationship with the Lord has always been at the center of our relationship with each other. As a musician, I naturally love singing with other Christians, but that only scratches the surface of why worship has been so important to us. The church has been a constant force of love, encouragement, challenge, and community. For 38 years, Kathy and I made worship with our church family at Adams central to our identity and our life together. Then COVID hit. For the first time in our lives, we couldn't gather in person with our church family. It was a real shock. Thankfully, the church had already set up ways for those who couldn't attend in person to still participate from home. For several months, the only people in the building were the few creating the worship services we all watched from our living rooms. It was certainly better than not being able to worship at all, but it was so different. It didn't take long before we really began to miss worshiping together every Sunday. When we were finally able to come back, even sitting 2 rows apart and 6 feet down the pew from each other, it was so sweet to be together again. Hearing each other's voices, the singing, the prayers, and worshiping together in the same place made all the difference. Prior to COVID, I already knew worshiping God every week was essential. When we worship, we grow closer to God, we express our love for Him, and we strengthen our bond with Him. Through worship, we can also express our doubts, our fears, and concerns. That personal experience with God binds us to Him. But COVID taught me something new. The people around us in worship are essential too. When we're not worshiping with other Christians, we miss out on the opportunity to be drawn closer to our brothers and sisters. Worship is meant to bind us not only to God, but also to one another. Paul reminds us in 1 Thessalonians to encourage and build each other up. Watching online can be encouraging, but I can't build you up, and you can't build me up in the same way as when we're together. To fully live out Paul's vision and instructions for worship, we need to be present with one another. That's why we've set this checkpoint: worship every Sunday. Worship is vital to the Christian life because we're created to share life together. Make it a priority to worship in person with your church family whenever possible. There's something powerful about gathering with others to worship God. While online worship is a good alternative, when in person isn't an option, it lacks the connection, encouragement, and shared experience of being physically present with fellow believers. Even when traveling, we encourage you to find a local congregation and worship with them. There's no substitute for worshiping God alongside His people. We know many faithful Christians are stuck at home with illness and physical challenges. We love you and miss you, and we are encouraged by the way you faithfully worship online. Your example is a reminder of something many of us take for granted. Worshiping together with others is a blessing. For the rest of us, Whether you're here at Adams or visiting another congregation, let's make worship a priority every Sunday, because in worship, we draw closer to God and to each other.